Some of the most infuriating news I've heard in a long time. George Zimmerman making the decision to put up for auction the gun he used to kill Trayvon Martin.
You missed something. Not just put it up, proudly put it up.
Proudly brag about the weapon. Brag
and then
about
on top of
the
that,
weapon.
trying to get money off of this situation. He is one sicko for real.
But you're right. The things that he said, about the gun.
And humbled to announce the sale of an American firearm icon. The firearm for sale is the firearm that was used to defend my life and end the brutal attack from Trayvon Martin on 2/26/2012. It is unbelievable that he would do this.
It's honestly the most disrespectful thing I pretty much heard. I mean, the guy is purely a sicko. He was the same dude who was sitting there like afraid to have his face like shown and walking the streets and trying to hide and everything else. And now he's just coming out doing this. Like he's still open arms. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's worse than that for me. George Zimmerman is a psychopath. He's psychotic. There's obviously something that's a screw loose or a wire that's missing. No matter what you think about what happened in the Trayvon Martin trial, and obviously I think a
lot of people, by the way, Van, are starting to change their opinion
about
George Zimmerman.
Well, to me, it was the opinion was obvious from the get-go. I personally believe he incited Trayvon Martin, and anything that happened after that was kind of on George Zimmerman. But I digress from that. This right here shows you he has no respect for human life. He has no respect for the pain that he's put everyone through, not just the family of Trayvon Martin.
How about this? He enjoys it.
I think he revels in it, which is just one of the worst types of human beings that I've ever seen. And by the way, since that incident with Trayvon Martin has occurred, all we've seen is George Zimmerman thumb his nose at society, at the law, and at everyone. He's a menace. He's a menace.
Been at least 3 times.
Road rage, domestic violence, arrest at least.
So everyone that shouted from the hilltops what a great thing it was when he skated for doing what he did, I hope that you're happy now. You're happy now of what you've unleashed on society and how this guy is acting, because this is out of here.
So the auction house that put this up mysteriously took it down.
It was supposed to be a full-day auction, all day Thursday on gunbroker.com, and then early Thursday morning, it suddenly went down.
Yeah, guys, so gunbroker.com was what it was first on. They took it down. Now George has actually just relisted it with another site.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
2 seconds ago. He just put it up. We spoke with the owner of the new auction site, and he said a mutual friend of George's contacted them, said that the first one took it down. They have no problem with auctioning it off, so it is now live again.
Interesting that it was taken down. The first one took it down. Clearly, that could be nothing other than public pressure.
Of course.
That's what we're told, Charles. I spoke with a rep for the family who said that it wasn't them who pressured the auction site to take it down.
For Trayvon Martin's family.
Correct, yeah, for Trayvon Martin's family. And they said they did reach out. They kind of just wanted contact info to see if it's legitimate, see who the auction officials are, but they said they never asked for it to be removed. So it kind of seems like the site itself kind of felt the pressure.
So here's the question. How much money is this going to fetch?
Well, he was asking, starting bid was $5,000, he had said, but is it on the new site also $5,000?
$5,000 is what it started.
I'm saying north of $150,000.
I think around what Van said. I think it's around 125, 150.
Disgusting.
It's true. I mean, it's going to get.
And that's even more sad that someone would even sit there and buy this. So this shows you how many sickos out there that are really flocking around in the world.
I think it's going to be a major trophy piece for one of these people out here who want to buy. I really do.
It's interesting because how are they going to? I wonder if the person who buys it is going to protect their identity. You can do this stuff anonymously, or you could do it.
No need to now. It's a brave new world. You can say whatever you want to say, which you should be able to. But all the evil that you harbor inside of your heart, it's completely okay to put it out there now. So kudos to these guys.
Though, Van, hold on. I got to say, there's a silver lining to that because. It's so funny because I'm still reading this Hamilton book, which is it's taking me forever. But I really have been thinking a lot about our government and the Constitution, and especially the First Amendment. And the fact is that what we tolerate in this country, which makes this country so incredibly great, is we allow extreme views because you have to allow extreme views, because if you don't, the walls start to close in, and all of a sudden, just because you disagree with somebody's religion, suddenly that changes.
Right.
But we have to allow the extreme views, and the advantage of that is sometimes it takes somebody expressing an extreme view for you to realize, God, the way I was thinking was so wrong. So in some ways...
Your point being what everyone thought about
Just real quick, I would argue though that that's all well and good, but I would argue that those extreme views cost Trayvon Martin his life. And I think that there's a breaking point that everyone has, and we have to set limits as far as what's acceptable in our society.
I'm not saying it was right to do. I'm saying it happened, and now that Zimmerman is now going out there in such a disgusting way, I think it's making people think about things that they didn't want to think about.
And it could bring people around.
That's right.
Hey, Harvey. Hey, Charles. This is Chris from Houston, Texas. Listen, I think selling any weapon that was used in a murder to kill somebody should be just taken away. This guy is sick. We all know that. And every time he comes up, it just pisses a lot of people off to even talk about this guy, man. I don't even want to say his name. This guy. That's what I'm going to call him. This guy that we keep talking about brings up hard feelings, man, and his family's grieving right now. Trayvon Martin family is grieving, man. So I just really think that pistol needs to be taken away from him, and the police need to hold on to it.
He can't do it. He was found not guilty. He can't do it.